Hi, welcome to our Earth Day Festival, celebrating the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. I'm Nico Rasi-deMatties. We've got an incredible lineup today, and we are all in for a night of great music, reflection, and collective joy. We are here in part because we believe in being change makers, and we believe that music is a part of making change. I've literally grown up with Carpe, Diem arts and Washington Revels because my mom works with both. And we work hard to make change through the arts. I want to shout out one of the greatest musical change makers I ever knew, because I know he'd be here with us tonight if he were alive, and lots of tonight musicians played with him over the years. Pete Seeger. I got to learn about making change from Pete, who taught me songs and who taught me to take care of our earth and the people on it. He taught me that we can change the world one community at a time, and that music can help. I believe that. Events like this Earth Day Festival and all of the people participating tonight are helping to make change. Thanks for being here to sing with us, work with us, and to help us get an important message out to the world. And now, I want to welcome Betsy Taylor, a social change leader who continues to tackle social and ecological problems with bold solutions. She's an amazing force of good for our planet, and we are so excited to have her here with us tonight. Welcome, Betsy.
Thank you so much, Nico, and it's so good to be here with all of you. And Nico, that was such a wonderful opening. My heart is warmed. As we gather, it's a beautiful day here in the Washington, D.C. area, and I want to take just a moment to ask everyone on the call to pause and close your eyes and think of a place that you love, some place that you've gone to. It could be your garden, it might be the beach, the mountains, under a particular tree. Just go there in your mind right now. A place that brings you calm and happiness. Okay, you can open your eyes. And now I want you to just think of one thing that you've done, or more, to help the earth. And on behalf of all those special places, I want to thank you. Despite all the rough news we're going through right now, there's so much good news. There's so many people and so many groups working for positive change. And right now, as the oil and gas industry is really dying off, which is what really needs to happen for climate solutions, we're racing ahead with clean energy. And with this pandemic, we are seeing the beauty in the midst of also great tragedy and loss. And we don't want to in any way underestimate what is being lost, but also to notice that the skies are clear, that the whales are migrating back to the Alaskan waters in a quiet ocean, and that the emissions are down, and I could go on, we can hear the birds. We can actually come out of this with that kind of world. We have a lot of the technologies and knowledge to structure things that way. So as we start, I have the great honor of introducing my good friend, Denis Hayes, who's here with a video message. Denis was the original organizer of Earth Day, working with Gaylord Nelson. He is a longtime environmental leader, now the president of the Bullet Foundation and president emeritus of Earth Day 2020. And Denis's message is political. It is really to say that the one action that you must take this year is to vote, and to get all of your friends and families to vote. So here's Denis Hayes, and I'll be back later on in the program. It's great to be with you.
Hi, I'm Denis Hayes. Back in 1970, I was the national coordinator of the very first Earth Day. And my job tonight on Love Your Planet is to recapitulate the last 50 years of environmental political history in about 2 minutes. So here goes. 1970, we've got 20 million people out on the streets protesting and demonstrating for a better environment and creating a political context within which the environment became virtually unstoppable. We passed more than 20 major pieces of legislation that fundamentally restructured the context within which the American business community operates and made a huge number of changes in the way that people lead their lives. That was followed by the pendulum of American politics switching over to the Reagan administration. And suddenly we had James Watt and Ann Gorsuch in positions of power, two people whose names became synonymous with anti-environmental zealotry. pendulum goes to the other direction. We bring in Bill Clinton and Al Gore, a bona fide environmentalist as Vice President of the United States and a strongly environmental cabinet, which then goes to push the pendulum back to Bush and Cheney, where you have an oil man as president and another oil executive as the vice president. Cheney makes James Watt kind of look like a marshmallow. Then we have the Obama administration, and we bring back pro-environmental cabinets and pro-environmental president and vice president. And then the pendulum swings to the Trump administration with the most robustly anti-environmental president in American history. And Trump makes Cheney look like a marshmallow. Trump makes Attila the Hun look like a marshmallow. This guy's tried to roll back basically 50 years of progress in 3 years. He's sought to overturn now more than 100 environmental laws, regulations, rules, strictures, court decisions. And he's withdrawn from the Paris Climate Accords, has used scoffing language with regard to hard science, and seems utterly indifferent to truth. He believes everything is a matter of opinion, and the highest possible game for him is to get himself reelected and get himself lines of applause. This next election is going to be the most important election of your lifetime. This year we hope to build up a head of steam that was going to be lofting climate and the environment to become a voting issue, one of those 1, 2, or 3 most important issues that people cast their ballots on. COVID-19 made that impossible, so tonight I'm asking you to make Election Day Earth Day in 2020. This is the year to vote for the Earth.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jo Rossi, and I'm a board member of Carpe Diem Arts, and I'm also on the staff of Washington Revels as the Community Engagement Director. I'm also mom to Nico, who introed the event. I want to thank everybody for being here, and I want to take a moment to thank the person who's behind tonight's amazing event, Busy Graham of Carpe Diem Arts, and her co-pilot Ingrid Gorman. An incredible amount of work went into making this happen. Can we please take a moment and give Busy an amazing hand thank you. Thanks everybody so much. Also want to thank all of the volunteers behind the scenes, especially Colin Bills, who has been doing all of the tech on this and has been doing an incredible job stage managing and producing with us. I also want to let you know we're live streaming on Facebook on both the Carpe Diem Arts and the Washington Revels pages. So if you're hearing from people who are trying to get in the room and can't, or who would like to join us, please direct them there. If you have any questions of any kinds, you can pop them into the chat room. We're going to be managing that all night. We've got several staff running the chat room. And also the Google Doc with the lyrics is also posted in the chat room, and you should have received it in advance. So if you want to join us in singing, you have the lyrics with you. Just check the chat room for anything that isn't working out for you, and we'll try and fix it immediately. During or after this event, please consider helping however you can. You can support your local environmental organizations or global environmental organizations. And you can support the work of Carpe Diem Arts and Washington Revels however you can. You can visit our website right now to learn about making cards for healthcare workers. We're aiming for 1,500 cards over the next couple of weeks. You can join in our virtual daily morning song, or you can donate to help keep our performing artists working through this tough time. We know that we're in a time of global anxiety and great need, and there's many important causes that are asking for your time and efforts and donations. We thank you for whatever you're doing with anyone out there. So I'm very excited to introduce these first musicians, James Hill and Anne Janelle, whose unique sound of ukulele, cello, and voice has catapulted them into major acclaim and worldwide tours. You will see why. Let's give a warm welcome to James Hill and Anne Janelle.
Thanks, everybody. Going to work in your slippers is a beautiful thing. Thanks for having us here tonight. One of nature's greatest gifts is her rivers, and we're going to sing about that right now. If you want to sing along, please join us. If we want to play along in the key of G, please do. Here we go. Down by the riverside, down by the riverside, I'm gonna lay down my burden. Down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I ain't gonna study war no more, ain't study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Sword and shield. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Down by the riverside, way down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Now we're gonna try something a little experimental here. We got one more verse and we've got one more thing to lay down by the riverside, and we want you to take to that chat box right now and tell us what you want to lay down by the riverside, and we're going to have a look here and see what we're going to sing about next. So go ahead, don't be shy. It's kind of like passing notes in class. That's good. Fear, yeah, stress, COVID-19. These are good. Netflix. I'm going to lay down Trump by the riverside.
Let's get personal.
Yeah, anxiety. I'm going to lay down virtual learning for second graders. Wow, okay. I'm going to lay down
How do we
greed.
choose?
Well, we've had a lot of votes for COVID-19. But well, isolation is a good one. Why don't we go with that? That kind of sums it all up. So let's try that. Sing along with us now. Here we go. I'm gonna lay down isolation down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Way down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down isolation down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Sing about this now. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. That's it. All right, thanks for all the great suggestions. Boy, I wish we had more time. We could do that a few times over. Now, virtual learning for second graders. That was really good. Getting real specific. Too many syllables for the song, but great sentiment. We got time for one more, and we're going to do one of our all-time favorite sing-alongs. This is called Up Above My Head, There's Music in the Air. And we're going to dedicate this to everyone here in Nova Scotia, in our town, and in Truro, in Portapique, in Enfield, everyone who's been affected by the latest tragedy here. And we just want to send out song and joy through music to everyone, and hope that music can be part of the healing process in this part of the world. That was the last thing we needed on top of a pandemic. So here's a tune called Up Above My Head, There's Music in the Air. I'll sing something, you sing it back to me. It goes like this. Up above my head,
Up above my head,
there's music in the air.
there's music in the air.
Up above my head,
Up above my head,
there's music in the air.
there's music in the air.
Up above my head,
Up above my head,
there's music in the air.
there's music in the air.
I really do believe
I really do believe
it's headed somewhere.
it's headed
Why
somewhere.
don't you play a little cello for them? take it a little bit faster now. And we invite you to put down your fork and knife and clap your hands with us. We're going to take it just a little bit faster now. 1, 2, 3, go. Here we go. Up above my head.
Up above my head.
There's music in the air.
There's music in the air.
Up above my head.
Up above my head.
There's music in the air.
There's music in the air.
Up above my head.
Up above my head.
There's music in the air.
There's music in the air.
I really do believe.
I really do believe.
It's headed somewhere.
It's
Try
headed
this one now.
somewhere.
Oh, when the saints
Oh, when the saints
go marching in.
go marching in.
When the saints go marching in. Oh, how I want to be in that number. When the saints
go marching in.
Okay, now what we're going to do here is just split it up. We're going to have to trust that you're following along. If you were born between January and July, why don't you sing along with me? And we'll sing When the Saints Go Marching In. And if you were born at any other time of the year, you sing with Dan, you'll sing Up Above My Head, There's Music in the Air. 2 songs at the same time, and it could be a total disaster. I won't lie to you, but you know what? It's Zoom, so nobody will ever know. Let's take it together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, how I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in. One more time now. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Up above my head, there's music in the air. Oh, how I want to be in that number. Oh, I really do believe it's ahead somewhere. Everybody try this. I really do believe.
I really do believe
It's ahead somewhere.
it's ahead somewhere.
I really do believe.
I really do believe
It's ahead somewhere.
it's ahead somewhere.
I really do believe.
I really do believe
It's headed somewhere. All right, let's have a good night of music, everybody. We would love now to introduce an amazing duo, which is the Emmy-nominated Jay Ungar and Molly Mason, good friends of ours. They've been performing together since the 1970s. They're known far and wide for their haunting and beautiful Ashokan Farewell, which is from, of course, from the soundtrack of Ken Burns' PBS Civil War series, and also for their Ashokan music and dance camps, which we've taught at and been to and we love very much. If you don't already know them, please visit their website, which is jayandmolly.com. They will be honoring the great legacy of John Prine with this song, Paradise, which was inspired by the first Earth Day in 1970. So we're so lucky to have them with us tonight. Please welcome Jay Ungar on fiddle and Molly Mason on guitar.
Such special thanks to Charlie for making things work a little earlier in the show. Thank you, Charlie Pilzer. So happy Earth Day early from us and the Ashokan Center, which you're going to talk a bit about.
Yeah, we're in West Hurley, New York, just down the road from Olive Bridge, where the Ashokan Center is. That's where environmental education for schools was pioneered in New York State in 1967. We started running the music and dance camps in '80, and then maybe 10 or 12 years ago, those two things came together and it's all one unit. And so I want you to know about some things coming up before we play. One of them is that since we can't have children come to Ashokan now, normally this time of the year, schools would be coming for these great programs where we've launched them online. It's called Ashokan Hello, and it's every Wednesday at 4 live. and they're archived, and you can find them on the Ashokan Center website or the Ashokan Center Facebook page. And Molly and I are going to be doing a concert at 8 p.m. every Wednesday to raise money for the Ashokan Center. But we're really thrilled that some of the funds raised for this event will be going toward environmental ed for kids in school.
Exciting.
This song, Paradise, talks about environmental destruction, and it reminds me of my own childhood growing up in the Bronx, New York. When I was a little kid, there was a place called Brown's Hill that overlooked the Harlem River, and it was woods. It had been a forested area with picnic tables and fire pits for centuries, actually. And then it was all taken down for housing. Okay.
I think so many of you out there have memories like that from your childhood and places that don't exist anymore, sadly. All right.
When I was a child, my family would travel down to Western Kentucky, where my parents were born. There's a backwards old town that's often remembered so many times that the memories are gone. Oh, Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg, down by the Green River, where paradise lay? Well, sorry, my son, but you're too late. Mr. Peabody's poetry has all it up. Well, sometimes we travel down the Green River to an abandoned old prison down by the hill, where they smell like snakes and we shoot with our pistols, but empty pop bottles was all that we had. Now, Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg, down by the river, where paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late, and Mr. Peabody's poetry is all there. Oh, complicated with the world's largest show. They tortured the timber, stripped all the land. They cut for coal till the land was for sale, and they wrote it all down as the progress. Oh, Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg, down by the Green River, where paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late. Just because poetry is all there. And I let my ashes go down the Green River, let the soul roll on to the Rochester Dam. I'll be halfway to heaven with paradise, just 5 miles away from wherever I am. Oh, Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg, down by the Green River, where paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, but it's too late. by folks. That's all that I We miss John Prine, but his songs are still here.
Absolutely. We hope you all were singing along. I think you were, because I think I could hear you out there.
I heard somebody.
Such a great old song that I remember from way back in the 70s.
Well, you have a song for us.
I do. And this is an even older song. This comes from the Boswell sisters. And one of my favorite environmental songs from probably the 1930s, That River's Taking Care of Me. And I know Terry and Greg do a great job on this song, even including the fantastic intro, which we're just going to go right to the song here. That River's Taking Care of Me. Love song to all the rivers out there. This is for you. I love my friend, that friend. He gives me everything I need. So I know that river's taking care of me. Well, I catch my breakfast, I catch my supper. He gives me everything free. So I know that river's taking care of me. He never stops to ask me the reason I'm here. He just fills my empty bowl, and all that he's got, he's willing to share. I guess that river has to show. When I've got troubles, he'll take my troubles and carry them out to the sea. So I know that river's taking care of me. Care of me. Happy birthday tomorrow.
I don't know if we're supposed to introduce someone. If we are, we missed the memo. But have a great, wonderful evening. Terrific artists coming up for a great cause.
Thanks for being here.
Hi there. Thank you guys so much. That was absolutely beautiful.
Good.
So I am going to introduce the next act. We have the great pleasure of introducing two wonderful artists, Grammy Award-winning Dan Zanes and his beloved partner and co-collaborator, Haitian-American jazz vocalist Claudia Zanes. They are dedicated to making a healthier, happier, and more musical world community. You can check out their website to learn everything that they do. In the meantime, let's please give a warm welcome to Dan and Claudia Zanes.
Well, thank you. It is such a blessing. Thank you, Carpe Diem. Thank you, Washington Revels. Thank you, Busy Graham. Busy Graham calls, you know, you say yes. That's the way that's the way we do it. And Busy also said, will you play the song Mariposa Ole by Barbara Brousal? And we said, absolutely, we will. Barbara Brousal was a huge part of my early success when I was beginning to play family music. She was a part of my band. Tremendous singer-songwriter. We're very happy to give her a shout out. Thank her for this wonderful song. Mariposa in Spanish, of course, is the butterfly. So it's a tribute to the natural world as seen through the eyes of a butterfly. And I'm so happy to be here with my wife, Claudia, today. And Jay and Molly, that was a great intro, man. All right, here we go.
Mariposa vuela cerca de mí, tantos colores tan frágil.
Camino amarillo, cielo, miro de lejos, qué suerte que te encuentro. Mariposa ole, mariposa ole, mariposa ole, mariposa ole. El sol acaba de subir, arriba empieza las alas batir. Es música en la lateo, volando en círculo, miro de lejos, qué suerte que te encuentro. Mariposa ole, mariposa ole, mariposa ole, mariposa ole. Mariposa ole, mariposa ole, mariposa ole, mariposa ole.
El verano es divino nada y las brisas no van a pesar.
Pero lo que voy a recordar, miro de cerca, miro de lejos, que suelo que te encuentro. Mariposa ole, mariposa ole, mariposa ole, mariposa ole.
All right. Thank you all so much. This next song we have for you is the classic, This Little Light of Mine. It's our video of this song. We hope you enjoy it. Ooh, there she is, Miss Fannie Lou Hamer.
Yes, the people's champion herself.
Look at her, standing with the people, resilient, helping them find their voice.
Helping them find that light in the darkness.
That's right. And I loved how she would use music to bring people together.
Yeah.
And one song in particular that I love, you know which one it is?
Which one?
This Little Light of Mine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, shine, shine. Let it saying go ahead every day and shine down upon us. Being brave enough to have the heart to say I love you. If we go way back or even if I don't know you, this life will show you how beautiful things can be. Music will always show us how it is to feel the beat. So let's keep this light shining. Yeah, I got the light of freedom.
I'm gonna let it shine.
Oh, I got the light of freedom.
I'm gonna let it shine.
Yeah, I got the light of freedom.
I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine.
Let it shine, shine, shine. Let it shine.
Sure I get it right, because this cat is heavy and it's a real treat to be here with him tonight. We have the great pleasure of introducing Malcolm Dalglish, whose choral pieces you will hear later tonight. His stage debut at age 10, now more than 50 commissions for choral pieces to his name. Malcolm's music has traveled the world over. Many singers know and love his song cycle, Hymnody of Earth, a collection of song settings of Wendell Berry's poetry. You may also have heard him on Metamora CDs, especially famous for the Little Potato Song, or as the music accompanying the dance of the incredible troupe Palabolas, or countless other places. All right, Malcolm's musical focus is on caring for the earth. Please welcome Malcolm Dalglish, who will introduce our next two performances. Again, it was a real pleasure to be here with my wife, Claudia Zanes. Thank you. Happy Earth Day to all of you.
Hello, I am Malcolm Dalglish, and I would like to thank Busy Graham for seizing the moment and pulling together this 50th Earth Day birthday celebration and inviting my song to be a part of it. I was on an all-day ascent to Cloud's Rest in Yosemite National Park, and I was singing this old Irish tune, The March of the King of Laois. It was the perfect pace for this ascent, and the words to this song came to me. And now with the mixing magic and virtuosity of Charlie Pilzer and Liz Porter, we bring you Randy Welch on his bagpipe playing that tune, and Rachel Carlson with her 6 Degrees choir singing Walking in the Cradle of Our Land. Thank you.
Originally, I was going to march in a grand fashion and play and have a friend playing my Siberian shaman's drum behind me, but we all have to adjust. So I'll be playing the drum myself, and if I happen to get out of time a little bit, we'll blame it on the drummer. So.
Hi, everyone. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing such wonderful music. So I'm Paula Posas, Carpe Diem Arts board member and deputy director of Maryland Sierra Club. I'm thrilled to be here with all of you tonight, marking the 50th anniversary of Earth Day and supporting the musicians and artists who have such an important role in this moment, connecting hearts, bringing smiles and hope, and supporting mental public health for uncountable millions. Thank you to all participants in this event, including all who are sharing their talents and creativity for the benefit of others, and all who support them. Earth Day 1970 was a revolutionary and transformative event, leading to the EPA, Clean Water Act, Clean Air Act, and the Endangered Species Act. It is our moment now, though, to be the visionaries and the activists, demanding what is needed today. We need to vote and to fight to address climate change, preserve our natural world, and help move towards a cleaner, healthier, and more just and sustainable future. This crisis that we're in has made that very clear. I like what Mr. Denis Hayes said about make voting day Earth Day this year. So let's all definitely vote. And now it is my pleasure to introduce someone who I listen to almost daily. She wouldn't know that, but one of my all-time favorite singers from right here in Maryland, Leah Morris. She'll be performing tonight Back to the Earth by Jason Mraz and Lean on Me by the beloved late Bill Withers. Sing along at home.
That's right, definitely. Please do sing. And I believe an occasion like Earth Day is an opportunity for us to remember that we are part of nature, part of the natural world that we want to protect because we love it so dearly. Just like the butterflies, the mariposas, and the rivers that we sing about, we have the potential to bring that kind of beauty to each other and to the experience of life on Earth. And so I'd like to sing this song in celebration of the beautiful musical legacy of Bill Withers. Sometimes in our lives we all have pain and we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things that you need to borrow, 'cause no one can fill those of your needs that you don't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load that you have to bear that you can't carry alone, I'm right up the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me, you just call on me, sister, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. So lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be hope you call on me. I'll be there if I can. Ooh, baby, now call me. And so this generation, we have our heroes, our musical heroes as well. And certainly one of mine is Mr. Jason Mraz and his beautiful songs and melodies and lyrics. This is an easy, wonderful song to sing along to. So once it becomes familiar, please do sing. Back to the earth, back to the earth, back to work, back to the earth, back to the earth, back to the earth, back to work, back to the earth, back to the earth, back to the earth, back to work, back to the earth. Whenever my head starts to hurt, before it goes from bad to feeling worse, I put down my phone, I get down low, I put my hands in the dirt. I try to stop the world from moving so fast, try to get a grip on where I'm at, to simplify this dizzy life. I put my feet in the grass, 'cause I'm going back to the earth. I'm going back to the earth. I'm going back to work. I'm going back to the earth. Back to the only explanation for a high rise must be that everybody wants to get high and move on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky. But the higher we go, the taller we grow, and we're losing sight of the land below. You can't have your place in outer space, 'cause my home is where my food is grown. I'm going back to the earth. I'm going back to the earth. I'm going back. I'm going back to the earth. See, we are animals. We are wild. We started with the motion at the bottom of the ocean. Now we're swinging from the top of the tree. We are animals. We are wild. And to truly be forgiven, we must all get back to living with the land in harmony. I'm going back to the earth. I'm going back to the earth. I'm going back to the earth. Don't you know that I'm going back to the earth? I'm going back. I'm going back. I'm going back to the earth. One more time. And it's my pleasure and my honor now to introduce to you Mr. Mike Tidwell, who is the founder and director of the Chesapeake Climate Action Network, which is a grassroots nonprofit organization dedicated to raising awareness about the impacts and potential solutions associated with global warming in Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. He's also an author and filmmaker whose work is improving our world. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mike Tidwell.
Thank you, Leah. I have to say thank you also to Carpe Diem Arts in Washington, Revels. But I'm sort of mad at these organizations that made me follow someone as talented as Leah. Wow, that was amazing, amazing. Thank you for your music. And as Leah said, I'm the founder and director of Chesapeake Climate Action Network, and our goal is to raise awareness about the impacts and solutions associated with global warming in Maryland, Virginia, and DC. And by the way, that's a region with 14 million people, about the same as New England. So we're a big, rich region. And we were inspired to form CCAN by Denis Hayes himself, who kicked off this event. 50 years ago, Denis taught us that this is a nation of laws. America is a nation of laws. And if you want to change this nation, you have to change the laws. And so we've been committed at CCAN for 18 years in changing the laws, the clean energy laws in and around the nation's capital. In 2017, for example, we led the Maryland General Assembly in banning fracking forever. It's not going to happen in Maryland. We banned it. In 2019, we were able to help persuade the DC Council to commit to 100% clean electricity in the nation's capital at the local level by local law, therefore making it, whether the White House wants it or not, the clean energy is coming. And this year, before the virus shut down our society, we were able to pass in Richmond the Virginia Clean Economy Act, which is a radical bill that moves the state of Virginia, a southern coal state, toward 100% clean electricity and mandates the phase out, the shutdown of coal plants by 2030 and gas-fired plants by the year 2045. And how do we do that? We follow a pretty straightforward two-step process that we also learned from the original Earth Day organizers. And that is step number one, build the biggest coalition you possibly can. Involve everyone, sort of like on this call, young, old, black, white, atheists, theists, you name it, bring everyone together. So step one, build the biggest coalition you possibly can for your issue. And step two, never, ever, 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 ever give up. And if you follow those two steps, sooner or later, you win. And so I would just say, with a coalition like all of you on this Zoom event, we will continue to push forward. And no matter how challenging it gets in the future, I know we will never, ever give up. So learn more about CCAN at ChesapeakeClimate.org. That's ChesapeakeClimate.org. And we would love to have you as members and supporters. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our next musical act, Terry and Greg of the talented singing duo Magpie. I first saw Magpie at Wolf Trap years ago when my now grown son was on a kindergarten field trip, and they blew me away then. They're amazing. They are multi-instrumentalists. They are music historians. They are songwriters, and they are social activists. In fact, I bet in the 45 years they've been together as a singing duo, they've probably played at 45 Earth Day events, not unlike this one tonight. And tonight they're going to join us with their neighbor, Reggie Harris, who is a master song leader. Again, it is my pleasure to introduce Magpie.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you for all the work you do. And way back at the beginning of this whole event, Nico mentioned and showed a few pictures of a friend of ours, a person who was very, very near and dear to our hearts, all three of us. And so Pete Seeger wrote this song, and it's one of our favorites of his. So it's called My Rainbow Race.
One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shore, one earth so green and round. Who could
easy way. Poisons and bombs they think we need of.
Don't you know you can't kill all the unbelievers? There's no shortcut to freedom. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping on our shore, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow rays. It's too soon to die. Now go tell all the little children, go tell all the mothers and fathers too.
Now's our last chance to learn and share what's been given to me and you.
One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping on our shore, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow rays. It's too soon to die. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shore, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more?
Great song by Pete. And now we get to join on another great song.
Well, we're just fortunate enough that this guy lives across the driveway from us.
Right across the driveway.
So we've been kind of quarantining together on our mountain.
Extra harmony.
We thought we'd come together today for this great celebration of Earth Day. And this just happens to be one of my favorite songs.
Well, thank you, Reggie. This is one that Terry and I wrote some years ago. And it's got a chorus. Many of you have those words. Sing along.
And we also want to echo all the thanks to all the people that put this together. Charlie Pilzer, Busy Graham, the list is too long. And all these very talented musicians. Colin, Nico.
Betsy.
Too many.
All right. So this song is called We Belong to the Earth.
It's we belong to her. We belong to her.
Thanks, everyone.
That was so moving. I'm having a hard time talking, but thank you so much, Terry, Greg, and Reggie. That was absolutely perfect. And it's a beautiful segue to our next speaker, who's coming in from the Marshall Islands. This is Kathy Jitneld Kitchener, a good friend. She was the opening poet at the 2014 International Climate Conference in Copenhagen. And she wrote this poem because she had just had a young child, a baby. And she was one of 500 who applied to speak to all the nations of the world, and she was selected. It's an amazingly moving message. I ask you, and this particular version was for a conference I organized internationally later, so it's quite personal. But I hope you like it. It's all about the fact that we belong to the earth. This is Kathy Jitneld Kitchener, a poet from the Marshall Islands.
The other night, my 1-year-old was a fever pressed against my chest. Together, we wrestled with a thermometer that read 99.8 degrees. The doctor says technically 100.4 is a fever, but I can see her flushed face, how she drapes across my lap, listless. Libanum is usually a wobbly walking toddler, all chunks and duck-footed shaky knees, stomping squeaky yellow light-up shoes across the edge of the reef, and I think what a difference a few degrees can make. Scientists say that if humans warm the world more than 2 degrees, then catastrophe will hit. Imagine North American wildfires increasing by 400%, animal extinction rising by 30%, freshwater declining by 20%, thousands, millions left wondering what happened. At a climate change conference, a colleague tells me 2 degrees is just a benchmark for climate negotiations. I tell him for my islands, 2 degrees is a gamble. At 2 degrees, my islands are already underwater. This is why our leaders push for 1.5. Seems small, like 0.5 degrees shouldn't matter. Like 0.5 degrees are just crumbs, like the Marshall Islands must look on a map, just crumbs you dust off the table, wipe your hands clean of. Today, Libanum is feeling better. She bobs around our backyard, drops pebbles and leaves into a plastic bucket before emptying them out and dropping them in again. As I watch her, I think about futility. I think about the world making the same mistakes again and again since the Industrial Revolution, since 1977, when a scientist said 2 degrees was just an estimate. On Kele Island, the tides were underestimated. Patients sleeping in a clinic with a nuclear history threaded into their bloodlines woke to a wild water world, a rushing rapid of salt, a sewage of syringe and gauze. Later, they wheeled their hospital beds out, let them resting in the sun. They must be stained, creaking brackish from salt spray and nuclear radiation blasts. Our people so tired, wondering if the world will leave us out to rest in the sun. Will they just dust their hands of us, wipe them clean? My father told me that Idik, the Marshallese word for when the tide is nearest in equilibrium, that's the best time for fishing. So maybe that's what I'm doing, fishing for recognition, willing the world to find its balance, so that the world remembers that beyond the discussions, beyond the statistics, there are faces all the way out here. There is a baby walking wobbly on the edge of a reef, not yet underwater. Thank you.
Betsy, thank you so much for bringing that incredibly beautiful poem to us. That was a very beautiful pause in the middle of all of this. And what a difference 1 degree makes, what a difference one person makes. And that's part of what we all need to remember as we're here today and as we move forward, what a difference each one of us can make. Our next artists, I'm delighted to introduce. They're dear friends of mine. They perform regularly together. And between them, they have a list of accomplishments, awards, CDs, and world performances that, quite frankly, makes my head spin. If you want to learn more about them, you can check out their website to see all of the stuff that they have done. You might know ethnomusicologist, composer, and multi-instrumentalist Jennifer Cutting from her days in the New St. George. You might know folklorist and singer Steve Winnick from the Library of Congress podcasts, or from his work with the Bard of the Beneficent Order of the Green Man, which is a brotherhood devoted to the image of the Green Man. You might know both of them from Ocean Orchestra and the Ocean Celtic Quartet. They also both work at the American Folklife Center at the Library of Congress, which allows them to mine the archive for musical treasures to share with all of us. No matter what they're doing, they're a joy to experience. I'm very happy to welcome Steve Winnick and Jennifer Cutting. Thanks for being here, guys.
You from the music studio at my house where Ocean Orchestra rehearses and where I write my songs and record demos. We're here in the leafy enclave of Tacoma Park, which is a nuclear-free zone, I'm proud to say.
And I'm a leafy enclave of my own. As Joe mentioned, I'm the Bard of the Beneficent Order of the Green Man, which explains the wonderful look that we have. And we feel like we have co-performers here because of these wonderful masks that we're wearing. And we should say that our mask makers are in the room with us. So Shane and Leah, we love you. We love so many of you who are here in the room with us. There's so many of our friends that we can't name you all, but thank you for being here. We're going to perform two songs, both of which have to do with the Green Man and that image and its connection to the earth. The first of these songs is called The Man Who Greens Again, and it's based on an old English nursery rhyme, which was set to music by some English folk singers named Coop Boys and Simpson, and then Jennifer and I played with the words a little bit to give it this, this cyclical nature of nature into the song. It's a hypnotic and strange lyric, and I think it's appropriate for our hypnotic and strange looks. So this again is The Man Who Greens Again, and it has a refrain that is after each line that I sing, you'll answer with a line. And so Jennifer's gonna teach you a little bit how to do that.
So Steve is gonna sing a line, he'll keep singing and you'll join him. For the second half of that line, he'll sing another line by himself and then you'll come in and join him for the second half of that line. So he'll sing at first. La, 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 la. And then you will sing along with him. Hey ho in green oh, and the melody of that is hey ho in green oh. Your turn. Hey ho in green oh. And then he'll sing la 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 la. And you'll sing The Man Who Greens Again. Oh, and here's the tune for that. The Man Who Greens Again. Oh. Your turn. The Man Who Greens Again. Oh. That's it. That's all you have to know because there is no chorus, only a refrain. Here we go. There was a man of double deed, hey ho in green oh, who sowed his garden full of seed, the man who greens again oh. And when the seed began to grow, hey ho in green oh, it was like a garden full of snow, the man who greens again oh. And when the snow began to melt, hey ho in green oh, it was like a ship without a bell, the man who greens again oh. When the ship began to sail, hey ho in green oh, it was like a bird without a tail, the man who greens again oh. And when the bird began to fly, hey ho in green oh, it was like an eagle in the sky, the man who greens again oh. When the sky began to roar, hey ho in green oh, it was like a lion at my door, the man who greens again oh. When my door began to crack, hey ho in green oh, it was like a stick across my back, the man who greens again oh. When my back began to smart, hey ho in green oh, it was like an arrow through my heart, the man who greens again oh. And when my heart began to bleed, hey ho in green oh, then I was dead and dead indeed, the man who greens again oh. when I was dead and in the ground. Hey ho, indeed, oh, I was like a seed within a mound, the man who greens again. Oh. And when I sprouted from the seed, hey ho, indeed, oh, I was like the man of double D, who sowed his garden full of seed and healed the world of hate and greed, and grew the things the earth would need to let us green again. The man who greens again, oh. And our second song is actually one that Jennifer wrote, and it's on this same idea of the green man and the connection of that image to the earth and to rebirth and the cyclical nature of growth. And so this is a song that Jennifer wrote. She's going to tell you a little about it.
Yes, and I would like to mention that our friends in Magpie cover this song and do a wonderful version of it. Greg and Terry do. And hey, Greg and Terry, good to see you.
Among the other people in the room that we love. So
yes.
Yeah.
As Leah sang, we're all wild. We're wild, and
we're weird.
Yeah.
The show just got 20% more weird.
So we've just performed an ancient and weird traditional English song. So now we'd like to do an original. And it's, as Steve said, called Green Man. And I wrote it to celebrate the wild, unruly aspect of nature, like a garden gone wild or the weeds that take over a building. And at a time when there's so much sickness and death, it's a song that we sing to remind us of the earth's promise. And that promise is that every period of death and decay will be followed by renewal and rebirth. And that rebirth is already happening among our Earth's plants and animals, because regardless of this virus, spring lambs are being born, and everywhere you look, there's a riot of flowers and green leaves. And Earth Day is about saying, let's work to keep it that way. So this Earth Day, we dedicate our song Green Man to all the green warriors out there on the front lines, fighting for clean air and water, clean energy, never stopping in their fight against pollution, pesticides, overdevelopment, and global warming. People like our neighbor, Mike Tidwell. Thank you, all of you, for your work. And there's lots of places for you all to sing along, because this song has both a refrain and a chorus, and they're both really easy to catch on to. Someone very kindly is putting up the words in the chat, the group chat. So if you forget, look over there and you'll see the words. I'm going to teach you right now. Your part is Steve will begin with a phrase, and then you sing Green Man, King of the Wood.
Green Man, King of the Wood.
You try it.
Green Man, King of the Wood.
And then he sings
La 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 la.
And you sing Green Man, Wild Man, Wise One. And the melody is
Green Man, Wild Man, Wise
Your
One.
turn. Green Man,
Wild Man, Wise One.
And that happens twice. And then the chorus comes along. You could sing on the whole chorus. And it goes, Green Man, bless this wood, oak and ash and thorn. And the melody for that is, I'll sing it once and you sing it back to me.
Green Man, bless this wood, oak and ash and thorn.
Your turn.
Green Man, bless this wood, oak and ash and thorn.
Then it goes, in Green Man's brotherhood, all will be reborn, all will be reborn. And the melody is,
in Green Man's brotherhood, all will be reborn, all will be reborn.
Your turn.
In Green Man's brotherhood, all will be reborn, all will be reborn. lines of an ancient face. Green man, wild man, wise one, spirit of the living leaves. Green man, king of the wood, in his heart all nature breathes. Green man, wild man, wise one, green man, bless this wood. Oak and ash and thorn, in green man's brotherhood, all will be reborn, all will be reborn. Man may build his castles tall, green man, king of the wood, time and tide will see them fall. Green man, wild man, wise one, thrusting up through crumbling walls. Green man, king of the wood, vines and ivy conquer all. Green man, wild man, wise one, green man, bless this wood. Oak and ash and thorn, in green man's brotherhood, all will be reborn, all will be reborn. One bright holly Christmas day, green man, king of the wood, now a flowering branch of May. Green man, wild man, wise one, soon midsummer's sheltering shade. Green man, king of the wood, turns to autumn's fiery blaze. Green man, wild man, wise one, green man, bless this wood. Oak and ash and thorn, in green man's brotherhood, all will be reborn, all will be reborn. When we see the falling leaves, green man, king of the wood, nature's brethren do not grieve. Green man, wild man, wise one, life and death an endless chain. Green man, king of the wood, all that falls will rise again. Green man, wild man, wise one, green man, bless this wood. Oak and ash and thorn, in green man's brotherhood, all will be reborn, all will be reborn. Green man, bless this wood. Oak and ash and thorn, in green man's brotherhood, all will be reborn, all will be reborn, all will be
Green man, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I could almost hear all of you singing along. We're going to switch gears a little bit and go to a completely different musical tradition. And our next performer, Huda Asfour, is no stranger to Steve and me, since we've presented Huda in concert at the Library of Congress in the American Folklife Center's Homegrown Concert Series. Huda is a Palestinian-American scientist who writes music for social change. And she brings two beautiful songs to us today that not only celebrate the earth as part of our festival, but are also a way of celebrating Arabic culture during April, which is Arab American Heritage Month. And as a full-time scientist and conservatory-trained musician, Huda is working nonstop in DC and around the globe to promote social awareness. And we're very, very happy to have in this program tonight. Please welcome Huda Asfour.
Welcome, Huda.
Thank you for the beautiful introduction. Thanks a lot. And thank you, Busy, and all the amazing people who have been working to make this festival possible over the last couple of weeks. It's a great pleasure to be here and to be part of this online performance. It's my first online performance since we started social distancing. In these challenging times, I chose for my first song a song whose lyrics are a poem by Mahmoud Darwish, a famous Palestinian poet, who was exiled and was never able to go back to his hometown. And one of the things that are beautiful for me in this poem is the link between the love for the land, and the description of the beauty that comes with these mixed feelings of love and estrangement for one's homeland. So this is it's called Matarun Na'imun, which is kind of translates into tender rain, I think. The music was actually written by my aunt, Salwa Jarrah, and I remember this from my childhood being sung at home. So it's a reinterpretation of what I remember of the music.
مطر ناعم في خريف بعيد والعصافير زرقاء والأرض عيد. لا تقولي أنا غيمة في المطار، فأنا لا أريد من بلاد التي نسيت لهجة الغائبين. مطر ناعم في خريف غريب والشبابيك بيضاء بيضاء والشمس بيارة في المغيب وأنا برتقال سليم وأنا لا أريد من بلاد السكاكين والعندليب غير منديل أمي وأسباب موت جديد. غير منديل أمي وأسباب موت جديد. مطر ناعم في خريف حزين والمواعيد خضراء والشمس طين. لا تقولي لعيناك في مصرع الياسمين كان عشهي مساء وموتي جنين. وأنا لا أريد من بلاد التي نسيت لهجة الغائبين غير منديل أمي وأسباب موت جديد. غير منديل أمي وأسباب موت جديد. العصافير طار إلى زمن لا يعود وطني لذة في القيود قبلتي أرسلت في البريد وأنا لا أريد من بلادي التي ذبحتني غير من دين أمي وأسباب موت جديد غير من دين أمي وأسباب موت جديد.
Thank you. For the second song, I'm actually gonna sing one of the first songs that I ever wrote. It's now, let's not talk about how old this song is, but it's really about my travels and this idea of not having a stable home. It's called Back and Forth or Coming and Going. It's kind of an interesting time for me to think about this song now, in times where I find myself in a position where I can't travel anymore. So جاي ورايحة.
وبين شطين وغربتين وبر محفور بسابع السما بين شطين وغربتين وبر محفور بسابع السما شايف ورايحة وجاي ورايحة وجاي ورايحة رايحة جاي ورايحة رايحة جاي ورايحة رايحة وجاي مسكون بطيب شبح مسجون بوردة مسكون بفيب شبح مسجون بورد بضلام مخفي بخيط عيون مسوي وجوه مكوي مسكون بفيب شبح مسجون بورد مسكون بفيب شبح مسجون بورد بضلام مخفي بخيط عيون مسوي وجوه مكوي وجاي ورايحة رايحة وجاي وجاي ورايحة رايحة وجاي بلا بر بلا بحر بلا وادي بلا نار بلا بر بلا بحر بلا وادي بلا نار عأرض بلا أرض بتضلها سارحة عأرض بلا أرض بتضلها سارحة بلا بر بلا بحر بلا وادي بلا نار بلا بر بلا بحر بلا وادي بلا نار بلا أرض بتضلها سارحة عأرض بلا أرض بتضلها سارحة بتضلها سارحة بتضلها سارحة بتضلها سارحة بتضلها سابحة ويمكن جاي ويمكن.
Thank you again. Thank you so much. Stay safe and stay at home. See you on the other side of this quarantine.
Thank you so much, Huda. That was unbelievably beautiful. I'm so grateful that all of your comings and goings had you end up coming to us here tonight. That was a really beautiful thing. It's amazing how you don't need to understand the words of a song to be able to feel the emotion in it. Thank you again, Huda. Our next artists both have PhDs in music, and they perform, teach, and collaborate around the clock to pass on the beauty of Ukrainian music traditions. They play multiple instruments, they perform in multiple languages, and they have a diverse repertoire. They've also been one of our regular song leaders on our daily morning antidote of song, which you can join us at 10 o'clock in the morning every morning throughout isolation. We encourage you to visit their websites and learn more about all the work they do, as well as the websites of all the artists you're seeing tonight. We have an incredible lineup here of musicians and change makers, and you'd learn a lot from checking out what they do in their lives year round. Without any further ado, I would like to welcome Andrei Pitkivka and Solomia Gorokivska of Gerdan. Thanks for being here, guys.
Hi, everyone. We are so glad to see you virtually tonight. And we will take you today across the ocean. And we want to start with a song that unites two cultures, American and Ukrainian, two folk cultures. And this song is known by everyone starting their childhood, You Are My Sunshine. So hope everyone knows the lyrics for this song. And for the second song, we will tell you later. So here we go. You Are My Sunshine. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You better know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Там на горі зеленім гаю, ой, там на горі дуб стоїть, а під тим дубочком зелена ружа, білий цвіт. All together, you are my sunshine,
my only sunshine. You make me happy when suns are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't stay my sunshine away.
You better know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Thank you so much. I hope you guys, we hope you enjoyed it. And during this really lockdown at home, right? And we hope you get some sunshine during every day that looks as exactly as another day, especially for us, because during this quarantine, we had a really nice event in our life. We had a newborn son. So for us, it's every day is a lot of sunshine. And now we would like to play for you a song from our country, from the beautiful Carpathian Mountains in Ukraine. And this song is a dance song that goes pretty fast. And the lyrics of this song is actually singing about the beautiful land of Verkhovina. This is the tallest part, the highest part of the mountain. And it's beautiful, green, and a lot of flowers, a lot of trees. And people who live there, they call Hutul people, and they create multiple lyrics for this melody. So hope you can dance and join us in this beautiful, beautiful song. Thank you so much. That was duet Gerdan. Gerdan is a beautiful necklace from the same region, from Carpathian Mountains, from Ukraine. And you see the beautiful embroideries of Andrei. This is what Ukrainian culture is famous for, the beautiful instruments and songs and dance. So we hope to see you out of this quarantine on our concerts and performances. And thank you, Betsy. Thank you, Joe, for hosting us at this beautiful event. And of course, we have to save our land, save our planet, and that's music is about. It's about kindness, love, and friendship. Thank you very much, and we see you sometime soon.
Stay home and practice your instruments, voices.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely beautiful, Andre and Solomia. Absolutely fabulous. This is my last introduction that I'll be making, and it's a real honor. Before I introduce Stuart Clark, I just want to a little plug for something you can do to calm your heart. You may have read that the Icelandic Forest Service is urging everyone in Iceland to take 5 minutes a day and spend some time hugging a tree. It's been shown that it calms your heart, and it's probably good for the tree too, so you might try it. So I want to introduce Stuart Clark, who I've known for a long time and has spent a great deal of his life energy working to protect the Chesapeake Bay and to give us clean energy solutions in Maryland as the co-chair of the Climate Commission for Maryland, as the executive director of the Town Creek Foundation, and has now moved on to be the vice president of strategic initiatives at the University of Maryland Center for Environmental Science. Stuart is going to share some of his insights he's also a member of the Maryland LCV, League of Conservation Voters, and on the board of Greenpeace. He spent a lot of time really working to strengthen the environmental advocacy community in Maryland, and will share some reflections on some of the progress we've made and some of the challenges ahead. So here's Stuart Clark, good friend, good warrior for the earth. Thanks to all for being here.
Thank you, Betsy. I am more than thrilled to be able to play a small part in this huge, really successful production. And I want to shout out to the organizers. This has been really spectacular. But I'm accustomed to playing a small part in big, successful productions because of my work over the last 15 years helping to fund environmental advocacy groups in Maryland. And because of that work, I've got a pretty fair understanding of the challenges that we will confront as we move more deeply into this carbon-constrained and climate-impacted century. But fortunately, from that work, I also know how effective and dedicated the current generation of environmental leadership is, and how much more powerful is the generation coming up behind them. So that's really what I want to share, something to hold on to on this 50th anniversary birthday. The next generation of environmental leadership is here and they're ready. And that's something that we all can take solace in. So now I have the good fortune of being able to bring on Kentavious Jones. Kentavious Jones was born in Illinois to musician parents, and he's been immersed in music all of his life. I am told that his stage performances have been described as swoon-worthy. Having heard that, I'm especially pleased that our organizers decided to have me introduce him rather than having him perform and then introduce me. So welcome, Kentavious Jones.
How you all doing? Thank you so much for having me, Busy. Appreciate you. Thanks to all the artists who played before. You sound amazing. I'm stoked for the rest of the evening as well. I want to be part of this just because the cause is amazing. And what a great anniversary, just celebrating our planet, which gives us so much life. I'm going to sing a couple songs for you, and I hope you enjoy them. Been traveling these wide roads so long. My eyes fall from you, 10,000 miles gone. Oh, I wanna come near and give you every part of me. There's blood on my head, and my lips are unclean. In the darkness, I remember mother's words reoccur to me. Surrender to the sweet Lord. He'll wipe your slate clean. Take me to your river. I wanna go. Oh, take me to your river. I wanna know. Get me in your smooth waters, I will go in. As a man with many cries, come up for air. As your sins flow down the Jordan. Oh, I wanna come near and give you every part of me. There's blood on my hands. You know I must be clean. Take me to your river. I wanna go. Oh, take me to your river. I wanna go. 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 I wanna know. I wanna know. I wanna know. I wanna go. I wanna go. Oh, please let me know. Take me to your river. I wanna go. Oh, take me to your river. I wanna know. Thank you. That was a song, River by Leon Bridges. And, just trying to stay with the theme of nature. And that song obviously has, spiritual roots and just how, cleansing it can be to wash in those waters. It's a beautiful song, really. The next song I'm going to sing is my own composition. It's called March On. And it'll be my last song. And just thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope you all are enduring this difficult time with grace. And I hope that you have all the provisions that you need. And I hope that you have some things to be thankful for as well. I'm going to march down to my brother's house. Let him know I share his feelings, and I know his styles. Though there's people lurking, we're gonna stomp it right out. Though our views and you may not be the same, I still consider you my brother. Hope you view me the same. March on to the rhythm, march on to the rhythm of the life. March on to the rhythm of, march on to the rhythm of the life. I'm gonna march down to my sister's house. Let her know she is a diamond. Tell her let that sun shine out. Oh, there's lurking. We're gonna stomp it right out. Yeah. Though our views and views may not be the same, I still consider you my sister and treat you like a queen. March on to the rhythm, march on to the rhythm of the life. March on to the rhythm, march on to the rhythm of the life. Na 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 na. I'm going to march down to my brother's house. Let him know I share his fears, and I know his doubts. Oh, there's people lurking. We're gonna stomp it right out. Though our views and views may not be the same, I still consider you my brother and treat you like a king. March on to the rhythm, march on to the rhythm of life. March on to the rhythm, march on to the rhythm of life. Na 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 na. Na 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 na, yeah. Na 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 na, yeah. Na 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 na, yeah. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you. And happy almost Earth Day.
Thank you, Contavious. I'm really excited to introduce our next change maker because he works for so many cool, helpful projects focusing on animals, mental health, refugees, and more, but also because he played Lex Luthor in Batman vs. Superman and the voice of Blue in the real movies and so many other roles in major films, and was even nominated for a Golden Globe and an Academy Award. I think he's an incredible role model because he isn't afraid to be himself, and he works hard to make the world a better place. He's coming to us from an undisclosed location, and he's going to talk about the great work of his neighbor Malcolm Dalglish. I'm proud to introduce Jesse Eisenberg in a pre-recorded interview. Welcome, Jesse.
Hi, this is Jesse Eisenberg from an undisclosed location. I am a friend and fan of Malcolm Dalglish, and I want to introduce his gorgeous song, Piece of Wild Things. I've listened to it and vetted it and can vouch for it. It is beautiful. It is inspired by and using the words from the vital poet and environmentalist Wendell Berry. Malcolm, of course, composed it. The singers, in addition to Malcolm, are Moira Smiley, Joshua Stephen Curtis, and Naomi Dalglish. The songs are on Malcolm's Into the Sky CD, and the photography and the video is also by Malcolm that you'll see accompanying this video. I wish everybody a happy Earth Day and hopefully happier Earth Days in the future.
Malcolm Dalglish here. You've just heard Maura Smiley singing with me on that last song, The Piece of Wild Things. Maura Smiley's way with a song has just always taken my breath away. Its language, its shape-changing vocal colors, its imagination, its mystery, effortless. This is her way as a composer, arranger, leader of bands and singing groups, recording artist for film and TV scores, and as a teacher. I've been learning from her ever since she was a teenager, and our daughters have been learning from her since they were teenagers. Seamus Egan has been at the center of the new Irish music scene for years and was a lead member of the supergroup Solas. Check out his beautiful solo album, Early Bright. He and Maura have a popular new band, the Seamus Egan Project. Please welcome Maura Smiley and Seamus Egan.
I don't know if I can sing after that kind of introduction. That was beautiful. Thank you, Malcolm. Can everybody hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Good. I'm just going to launch in here to Jean Ritchie's incredible song about our stewardship of the earth. This is called Now is the Cool of the Day. This is one of Busy Graham's favorite songs, and I just sang this with her in her kitchen. My Lord, he said unto me, do you like my garden so fair? You may live in this garden if you keep my grasses green, and I'll return in the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Oh, this earth is a garden, the garden of my Lord, and he walks in his garden in the cool of the day. Then my Lord, she said unto me, do you like my garden so pure? You may live in this garden if you keep my waters pure and clean, and I'll return in the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Oh, this earth is a garden, the garden of my Lord, and she walks in her garden in the cool of the day. Then my Lord, she said unto me, do you like my pastures of green? You may live in this garden if you feed my lambs, and I'll return in the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Oh, this earth is a garden, the garden of my Lord, and she walks in her garden in the cool of the day. Last, my love, he says unto me, do you like my garden so free? You garden if you keep my people free. And I will return in the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Oh, this earth is a garden, the garden of my Lord, and he walks in his garden in the cool of the day. I'd like to welcome Seamus Egan to the stage. Yeah, hi.
Hello.
This has been beautiful, everybody. Congratulations on making such a beautiful celebration. And Seamus and I wrote this song. This is a song written specifically after Charlottesville, Virginia. The events of Charlottesville, Virginia happened. And I wondered, what does one do when the news is so bad and we feel so divided? But I noticed that the birds keep singing and the trees still keep growing. So here's to Earth Day. Oh, sit with me, birdie, in the tall tree. The news is bad and there's no relief. Oh, how do you fly to the enemy? Sing your song so tenderly. Oh, when I fly to the enemy, fear is high 'cause you don't agree, and tempers flare. The other cry is war. No one listens anymore. These days and these days of war. And these days of war. Oh, little bird, do you fly in fear? Up and away from the hatred here? Or do you see a meeting ground between our camps where you touched down? Oh, yes, sometimes I fly in fear and I sing so softly so you cannot hear. But I sometimes see your meeting ground beneath the smoke and the battle sounds. Yeah. These days and these days of war. These days of war. Ah, little bird, why do you fly away and leave me alone in this silent day? And how do you sing in these days of war, where no one listens anymore? Well, I fly because I must carry on, to love, to feed, to make my home. And I sing to know that love is near, because anger holds the hand of fear. Yeah, I sing to know that love is near, because anger holds the hand of of fear. Yeah, I sing to know that love is near. Come, courage, take the hand of fear. Oh, these days and these days of war. These days of war. These days of war. Thank you all. Thank you for having us. I'm Maura Smiley. This is Seamus Egan. And here's to Earth Day.
Thank you, Maura, and thank you, Seamus. That was absolutely beautiful. What a treat. Thank you for bringing that to us tonight and being part of our Earth Day Festival. And thanks to all of you for being here with us tonight. I'm going to introduce our last artist for the night. He has dedicated his life to building community, to finding our common human threads, instilling hope, and fighting for justice. And much of that has been through music. His great spirit and his energy have taken him from the Kennedy Center to New York's Lincoln Center, to President Clinton's inauguration, and to many other events around the US and Latin America. He's a veritable fixture in the DC area, having brought his music to countless children and their families. It's artists like Lilo Gonzalez and all of you who perform tonight who keep things moving forward. Thank you to everyone, and please make welcome Lilo Gonzalez.
The earth is our mother, we must take care of her. La tierra es nuestra madre, hay que cuidarla bien. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, BZ. And all. It's a beautiful concert. I love it. I love it. Thank you very much. You know, 1984, I have no green card. I have no social security. And I came, I don't know how, to the Tacoma Folk Festival. And I learned this song from Pete Seeger. He was singing this song. And since that time, I've been singing this beautiful song. And let's sing together. Somos el barco, somos el mar. Yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me. The boat we're sailing on was built by many hands. The sea we are sailing on touches every sand. Somos el barco, somos el mar. Yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me. The stream sing it to the river sing it to the sea sing it to the boat that carries you and me. Somos el barco, somos el mar. Yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me. El arroyo le canta al río, el río le canta al mar. El mar le canta al barco, que lejos nos va a llevar. Somos el barco, somos el mar, somos el mar. Yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me.
Wow, thank you, Lilo. Now, before I introduce the last song, I want to say a bunch of thanks to many people. Thank you to Busy Graham and the staff at Carpe Diem Arts. Thanks to my mom, Jo Rossi, and everyone at Washington Revels. Thanks especially to Colin Bills, who has been the major behind-the-scenes force during the planning and all of tonight. Thanks to all of the musicians and artists who contributed their voices, labors, visuals, and love to tonight's efforts. We can't list everyone by name, but it took a lot of hours from a lot of staff and volunteers to pull this off. Thanks to all the nonprofit environmental groups supporting our event who are working so hard to protect our planet. The Sierra Club Maryland chapter, Chesapeake Climate Action Work, the Nature Conservancy, Rachel Carlson Council, Audubon Naturalist Society, Friends of the Earth, the Civic Circle, and also our sponsors, Harris Teeter, Whole Foods, and our community radio station, WOWD-LP Tacoma Radio. We also want to thank the Arts and Humanities Council of Montgomery County and the Maryland State Arts Council for their general operating, both of Carpe Diem Arts and Washington Rebels. A special thanks to the individual donors supporting the event and to all of you for being with us tonight. If you haven't donated, please use the link in the chat room or visit the Carpe Diem Arts website. I also want to say we are making cards for healthcare workers, and if everyone listening just made 2 or 3 cards, we would meet our goal. The more cards you make, the better, but just 2 or 3. Also, please join us 10 a.m. at every morning for a daily song. It is a great way to start your isolation days. Please visit the Washington Revels website for details for both. During our last song, let's all send out good thoughts and prayers, or whatever works for you, not only to all the people on our planet who are hurting because of this virus, but also to all of the people who are adversely affected by the impact of climate change. To everyone out there, and to all of us, let's bind together and be change makers. And let's take care of each other and the planet, one community at a time, just like Pete Seeger said. Now, I'd like to introduce Anina Gonzalez, who is going to perform the last song of the night with her dad, Lilo.
Hi, I'm Anina Gonzalez-Soul, and for our last song tonight, I'm going to join my dad, Lilo Gonzalez, to perform This Land Is Your Land, because our country and our planet belong to all of us. No matter how you got here, how long you've been here, or what your job is, we all have the responsibility of taking care of each other and our earth. You've been a great audience. Thank you for coming, and please sing along with us in our last song. The lyrics are in the Google Doc and in the chat room, in English and Spanish. Thank you again for everything you do to make our world a better place. This land is your land, this land is my land.
California to New York's Island, from the redwood forest to the Long Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Esta tierra es tuya, esta tierra es mía.
Desde California hasta Nueva York, desde los bosques hasta los mares. Esta tierra es tuya y mía también. As I was walking the river highway, I saw above me the endless skyway. I saw below me the golden valley. This land was made for you and me. Esta tierra es tuya, esta tierra es mía. Desde California hasta Nueva York, desde los bosques hasta los mares. Esta tierra es tuya y mía también. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to New York's Island, from the redwood forest to the Long Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Happy Earth Day.